she agreed. Later Rand installation a Buddha show out of doors the Meacham house. Joy observed it and Rand expressed a desire to rebuild their friendship. Joy requested in which Rand have been. He defined his connection to the Meachams which saved him in New York and shared how her father's loss of life affected her. Rand admitted having comparable desires approximately Harold whilst inside the medical institution. Even though he questioned if the medication prompted them, Meacham invited Rand in and supplied him a test for $100 million to shop for his silence and his proportion of Rand Enterprises. She satisfied Ward to growth the provide. Rand became disgusted. While Meacham requested him to extradite his call, feeling betrayed, he left, pronouncing it wasn't approximately cash. Rand noticed it became well maintained on the Rand Memorial and found out Jerry Hogarth have been looking after it that night. Rand approached Hogarth, who threatened him with pepper spray. He satisfied her. He became Danny Rand with the aid of using the usage of a nickname from her intern days. After answering questions, she believed him. In Central Park, Hogarth defined she had controlled the property and memorial. She warned Rand that the Meachams could oppose him and wished evidence of his identification. Rand recalled how the Meachams had as soon as been his buddies earlier than turning on him. Hogarth agreed to assist him reclaim his organization, however handiest if her firm had become an everlasting retainer. She supplied him a set and cash for brand new garments at Shikara Dojo. Rand stepped in while Caleb misbehaved, placing him after Caleb mocked him. Wing became livid and demanded Rand go away. Rand apologized, understanding his mistake. Rand felt out of area inside the suite and slept at the ground, recalling his harsh Kunlun schooling. The following day Hogarth defined their case became complex without a proof of his lifestyles. She suspected the Meachams had been in the back of it. Rand, distracted with the aid of using skateboarding youngsters, remembered and damage from his beyond. Rand went to the medical institution, hoping to discover statistics proving his identification inside the empty report room. Kevin Singleton supplied to assist, however then attacked Rand with knuckle dusters, knocking him down as Singleton commenced to burn the statistics with Ethel. Rand summoned the Iron Fist, getting up and defeating Singleton's man, though weakened. Rand controlled to prevent Singleton from putting the statistics on Hearthplace. They fought with Rand's usage of a EE book to protect himself from a knife. Despite the battle, Singleton controlled to begin the Hearthplace earlier than fleeing. Rand centered on saving a girl Singleton had attacked and pulled her out simply in time earlier than the explosion fed on the statistics. Rand checked out the burning room horrified and pondered his subsequent circulate. Rand faced the Meachams at a eating place, livid that they'd erased all statistics of his lifestyles. He reminded Ward that he became the handiest one that knew approximately his damaged arm. Ward admitted he desired the vintage Danny Rand to live useless. Rand warned them that he had Hogarth's assist and could take returned what became his. The next day Rand and Hogarth met the Meachams at Rand Enterprises. Joy presented a discounted buyout of $20 million, however Hogarth discovered they desired manipulate of the business enterprise. Ward brushed off Rand's identification, however Hogarth proved it with a clay bowl Rand had made for Joy, nevertheless containing his fingerprints with evidence of Rand's identification. The case become received. Ward enraged, threatened delays, however Hogarth become unfazed, pronouncing they could meet in courtroom docket. Rand refused the buyout provide, pronouncing it become approximately his call. As they left, Rand observed photos of Wendell Rand and Harold Meacham, sparking interest. Approximately a proceeding stumble upon with Harold. He determined to observe Ward, overhearing a TELcell smartphone communication and suspecting there become extra to the scenario. Rand trailed Ward to a constructing sneaking beyond protection, unable to observe interior due to a fingerprint experiment. Rand climbed to the following ground just as he become approximately to go into. Ward observed and shoved him away as Rand fell. He slightly controlled to seize onto a mild fixture earlier than hitting his head. He almost fell to his dying, however somehow survived. When he awoke inside the penthouse, Rand found out Ward had driven him. Ward frivolously stated he become preventing a break-in. Rand began out arguing with him, however then Harold Meacham, who grew to become out to be alive, stepped in. Rand couldn't accept as true with it. Remembering Harold from the psychiatric medical institution, he hugged Harold in surprise. Harold defined that once he died, the hand introduced him again to existence and have been running interior Rand Enterprises. He requested for Rand's assist, however warned him now no longer to inform Joy, pronouncing it become for her protection. Then Harold ordered Ward to forestall all of the felony fights and give Rand what he wanted. Harold dismissed Ward's lawsuits, approximately the Hans Red Hook Pier deal. He becomes simply glad Rand had again. Ward warned Rand now no longer to accept as true, with Harold pronouncing he ought to in no way update Wendell. Following Harold's command, Ward dropped the felony case and made Rand CEO once more. Later Rand again to Rand Enterprises to fulfill with Ward and Joy. At the Click convention, Rand nervously mentioned coming domestic. He cited how his father, reputable the business enterprise his mother and father died, and the Order of the Crane raised him. He mentioned valuing existence difficult paintings and the Rand call. When journalists requested approximately Burr Psychiatric Hospital, Rand admitted he'd been there or even thanked the Meachams. Ward quick reduce him off earlier than he ought to. Say extra afterwards. Joy commented that Rand become being too pleasant. Approximately the medical institution. When Rand requested approximately Red Hook Pier, Joy advised him to speak to Megan. He were given annoyed via way of means of the runaround. However, discovered he had assembly with Hogarth. Rand were given misplaced and reminiscences in his father's vintage workplace till Hogarth introduced him again to fact she surpassed him papers to signal, making her company the Business Enterprises Attorneys. When Rand requested what he become meant to now, Hogarth stated that together along with his 51% possession he had the very last say on the whole lot. She informed him now no longer to waste this hazard during a board assembly. Approximately a leishmaniasis drug. Rand interrupted to take a seat down through Joy. He driven to promote a medication at fee rate best at the assembly. Rand refused to elevate the drug's rate, insisting it simply cover charges. As the bulk proprietor his selection stood regardless of board proceedings. Later Joy eventually agreed to speak about Red Hook Pier. Walking collectively, Joy joked approximately Rand's gowns and defined she gave Jerry the bowl as it reminded her of Harold. She desired to do what change into proper, and Rand informed her Harold could be proud. Back at the penthouse, Rand wondered the Red Hook Pier deal. Joy stated Ward changed into in the back of it and she or he relied on his judgment because he'd been a hit. When Joy requested why he cared, Rand gave a half-real tale, approximately competing to end up Iron Fist in Kun. He remembered how the Order of Crane Mom doubted him and the way he by no means concept approximately what turning into Iron Fist could fee as they seemed round his fancy penthouse. Rand as compared it to his easy room in Kun. Joy referred to his hard schooling with Lel Kung. However, Rand simply smiled it off. Suddenly Rand heard Joy scream. He ran to locate thugs dragging her away. He took down fast dodging hatchets and counterattacking easily. Just as he beat them, extra thugs pulled Joy into an elevator. Rand dodged a flying hatchet and knocked out the remaining attacker. Determined to shock Joy, Rand jammed the elevator doorways and used his Iron Fist to dam a hatchet together along with his naked porters and skin. He without problems beat all the attackers unhurt and rescued Joy before jogging away. The thugs muttered approximately going to Golden Sands. Rand focused on getting Joy to protection. He introduced Joy to Chikar Dojo, wherein Colleen Wing reluctantly helped when Rand requested approximately Golden Sands and defined the hatchet-wielding thugs. Wing diagnosed them as Yang Egonchai Triad. She informed him wherein to locate them, so Rand faced the group at the same time as Wing blanketed Joy at Golden Sands. The receptionist iced over whilst Rand referred to Yang Egonchai. He informed her now no longer to fear because the team of workers sponsored away. Nervously Rand confronted High King, caution him to depart. Joy by myself. Yang stated his gang had addressed the preceding Red Hook Pier proprietors. However, Rand demanded no extra threats. When Rand referred to the hand, Yang were given scared and apologized at the dojo. Rand informed Joy the Triad wouldn't hassle her anymore. He constant Wing's dislocated finger and presented 6 months lease. However, she refused. Rand and Joy left, agreeing now no longer to inform Ward approximately the Triad assault. Rand contemplated in his penthouse the next day to recharge his Iron Fist. Electricity. A knock on the door interrupted him. He opened it to discover a small crimson container from Yang containing a heroin packet with a abnormal image, the mark of Zolo that Hai Ching gave him. He talked to Sandiana, scientist at Rand and Shior. He informed him it wasn't crafted from opium. Instead it became a chemical drug that became clean to make without developing whatever. Most importantly, it wasn't unlawful. She warned Rand that the drug ought to begin a huge hassle in New York City. Rand stated he could contend with it and thanked her for assist. After that, Rand went toward Mesham's workplace and positioned the heroin on his table. He informed Mesham that the medicine have been coming from Red Hook Pier and they have been related to Yangi Ganchai. Mesham were given irritated and stated Rand became imagining matters. Rand pointed to the display Lao image at the drug and stated it became related to Kunlun in the hand. However, Meacham failed to trust him and failed to need to assist. Rand felt dissatisfied and left the workplace, leaving the heroin at the back of Mesham. Became aggravated, after which requested Megan approximately the following cargo at Red Hook Pier. She failed to understand, however informed him to speak to Sarah Galvin. After assembly, Galvin Regina Fitzgerald approached Rand. She confirmed him image of her son who were given most cancers due to the Rand chemical plant. Rand promised to make matters right. Now no longer understanding her legal professional, secretly recorded the communique. Later Rand went to check her dojo and located Colleen Wing schooling Claire Temple. Temple joked approximately Rand going from wealthy to terrible. Rand desired to speak to Wing, however she informed him to wait till her elegance ended. Rand awkwardly stated he had ordered takeout, and Wing became amazed whilst numerous guys introduced in tables and meals from Wendell Rand's preferred location. Wing requested if the dinner became speculated to be a date, however Rand Speedy stated no. He defined that he wanted her assist with a criminal offense hassle. To make matters much less awkward, Wing invited Temple to devour with them too. During dinner, Rand informed Tails approximately his time in Kun and the way he skilled after the aircraft crash. Wing reminded him that he desired to speak approximately something vital. After Temple left, Rand stated that criminals have been the usage of Rand Enterprises to transport tablets. He could not visit the police, so he requested Wing to assist him get proof to reveal Ward Mesham. Rand stated preventing the cargo at Red Hook Pier became very vital to shield humans, especially Wing's college students. Wing failed to need to assist before everything, however Rand informed her he had sold the constructing she used for schooling and became now her landlord.